We welcome you to the 2023 Heart of America Athletic Conference Media Day. I'm your host, Stephen Davis. It's time to talk William Penn Statesman football. We have coach and a couple student athletes with us. Guys, before we get going with questions, if you could each introduce yourselves, tell us your name, how long you've been there at William Penn, and where you're from.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get started. So I'm Coach Mark Benavidez. I'm the head coach here at William Penn. Been here for the last 8 months, so fairly new here. And previously, I was at Alva University for the last 14 years in Kansas City.
Logan, how about you next?
I'm Logan Myers. I've been here for 4 years, and I'm from Joplin, Missouri.
Harlan?
I'm Harlan Plummer. I've been here for 3 years, and I'm from Snook, Texas.
All right, Coach, let's start with you. You said 8 months on the job. What's the transition been like, and are you ready to get things rolling with the start of fall camp here soon?
Yeah, I think things have gone great. It's something here. Everybody's been extremely supportive and welcoming. So we had a lot of assistance, starting off with President John Otteson and Nick Rule, our athletic director, all the administrators, all the coaches, the players, I think have bought in, and absolutely excited and ready to get after it here in a few days.
What was it about William Penn that attracted you to make a move from a place at Avila where you'd been for such a long time?
Yeah, I left my alma mater. A lot of it really was the people, the resources, the support. Again, from day one, every single person here has been extremely welcoming. Even before the interview process, everybody here being a welcoming, know who I was, know who my wife was, and being supportive of us and making it an easy transition. And, ultimately the school, their goals and aspirations really aligning with my own.
Coach, introduce us to Logan and Harlan real quick and tell us how much you're going to lean on them, not just for on-field production this year, but also to be leaders for your team.
Yeah, so both these guys are guys that, I recognized and noticed before I even got here on campus on film. Obviously, watching these guys ball out and have success. Harlan, I thought, was an All-American-esque type linebacker, leading the team in tackles and having all these stats, and then watching Logan being a solid part and key contributor for the offensive line. And he always obviously stuck out with the hair, so could understand and know who the heck that guy was from the get-go. But getting here and meeting them and meeting other players, I know both these guys are guys that are really well respected. And that's going to be key for the transition, making sure you've got leaders in the locker room, guys are on the field that aren't just great football players, but guys that people respect, that they'll listen to, and eventually follow. And knowing that each of them have been here for quite some time and a little bit older, it's something that I'm really looking forward to those guys helping us win some games this fall.
Logan, let's flip over to you. How much are you and your teammates looking forward to being led by a new head coach and staff with Coach Benavidez in charge now?
I'd say we're all pretty excited. It's definitely a change that we've all been looking forward to, and I know that we all can't wait to take the field with him.
What do you think will be some of the biggest adjustments when you get into fall camp here coming out of spring and summer when everybody gets back together?
I would probably say just knocking the rust off, like making new friendships, connecting, building that bond, and continue the culture that we started since spring when Coach Benny got here.
Harlan, over to you. You're going into your senior year. What are some ways you hope to lead the team this season, both on and off the field?
I just really want to be a person that my teammates and my coach can really count on, like the winners games down the stretch. Also, I just really want to be more vocal of a leader. I feel like I haven't been at the last couple of years. I've just been playing football. I feel like it's time for me to take that step and be the leader since Keith is gone for us to help us win some games.
You're from Bryan, Texas. Tell us about your football journey and how you made it north to Oskaloosa and William Penn.
I came in, transferred in from Tarleton State University 3 years ago. I didn't end well for me there, but coming into my WPU family, accepted me from the front. Coach Ibarra offered me, and I'm thankful to be here. I feel like from a Texas boy to here, I was a big difference, a real culture shock, but I adjusted well because of them.
And the winters are a little colder too, I bet, right?
Very cold.
We've got some media with us today as well. Sam, introduce yourself and what affiliation you're with, and if you have any questions for the guys.
All right. Yeah, thanks. I'm Sam Parsons with KBOE Radio here in Oskaloosa, and I was doing play-by-play for William Penn last year with you guys. My first question, I guess, is for Mark. Coach, what's your read on the Heart Conference this year with it being your first year in this conference and specifically your division?
Yeah, I've actually been in the Heart longer than any other conference. You know, I played at Avila, and Avila was in the Heart until 2007 or until 2018. So I was in the Heart for 10 years. Obviously, there's been some other teams that have come and go, and it's really well respected, you know, nationally. Very tough. You know, when you break down the conference from a North and a South standpoint, both conferences have had consistent top end teams, and obviously teams that make the playoffs. And you know, where we're positioned right now, you know, I think William Penn has somewhat underperformed over the last few years, and no doubt is our squad and our team where we want it to be. I'll be the first one to say it. We've got a lot of work to get where we want to be, and people like Coach Woodley at Grandview, they've set that bar really, really high. And so it's going to be a tough, competitive conference, tough league. And for us, you know, a big thing we want to embrace is our guys simply competing week in, week out. And that's something that we've started really this spring, making sure our guys are having that mindset. They want to go, they got to do whatever they can to go win football games.
Harlan, you mentioned that you wanted to become more of a vocal and emotional leader of this team this year. I know last year you were already one of the leaders production-wise on the defensive side. So this offseason, what are some of the things that you've tried to do to become that more vocal and emotional leader of the defense?
For the younger players that we have coming in from freshmen, sophomore, juniors, where we have, I'll try to be more available. I feel like I was just too caught up with just being the best player I could be last year. I feel like I just need to be more available for my teammates to help teach them, since we're going into a new scheme. We got a lot of younger kids that, you know, necessarily haven't played college football. So, you know, they got to transition to that. And I just want to be there for everybody.
And you guys had some great games last year on the defensive side, especially you as part of the front seven. The whole front seven unit was really doing well in some of those games last year. What's the confidence like on defense going into this season?
I think we just want to be very consistent. I'll just start the tradition back to winning. And I feel like we have a lot of experience on the defensive side, and we got a few good pieces in here to really complete us. And I feel like we can really do big things to hold it down for defense, for sure.
And Logan, going to you now, I know in your couple of years at William Penn, you've seen a lot of change in how William Penn plays offensive football. What's your mindset going into this season with a new coaching staff? How do you feel about the way that the team's going to be playing offense this year?
I feel great about it. I feel like all of us players are adaptable. I don't really see any downfall. All I see is productiveness, the line, the offense. So I think it'll be pretty good.
What's the offensive line? What's the vibe like with the line as far as the cohesion and just the chemistry that you guys have?
We got a couple transfers, and I mean, they fit in right in with the group that we have. We were all very open. I mean, on the weekends, we'd all hang out, have fun, create a bond that kind of unbreakable. And I think we all have that one mindset and goal is to be the best that we can be and be the baddest five up front in the Heart of America Conference.
Back to Mark here. Mark, Logan just mentioned that you guys have a couple of transfers on your offensive line. I feel like anytime you have a college football coach changing schools in today's day and age, you have to think about players transferring either to or from that school. So to that end, can you talk about that part of the offseason? How many players are coming with you from Avila to William Penn? And have there been any players on the flip side that played key roles here last year before you came to William Penn that have decided to transfer out?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I'd say retention was great. There's a handful of guys that you know, technically before I stepped foot on campus left. I can't really talk to them about them too much. I don't really know them myself. I would say, you know, my first few months here, there's some people that it was kind of felt mutually that college football or William Penn football simply wasn't what was best for them or for us. In terms of guys transferring from my last institution coming here, I think at semester we had, you know, over a dozen guys. And, you know, like Logan mentioned, multiple offensive linemen that were all conference guys and guys that started for us. And that's how you win games. You know, getting those guys in the trenches that can produce and be good football players for you. The world of college football has completely changed over the last few years with transfers. It's something in which I feel like it's almost kind of turned a little bit more into a business at times of talking to these young men and trying to figure out what's best for them. And it's been a big focus for us early on to try to change some things here quicker than later. However, you know, a big focus for us, we started in January. So we've already lost out on a good amount of recruiting, you know, from November on. leading up to January. But going forward, a big focus for us really is staying in the state of Iowa and focusing on high school graduates. And that's something that, our staff has already done a tremendous job focusing on 2024 recruits at this point in time. And, at the end of the day, players are the ones that win games and coaches lose games. What can we do to put those players in a great position to be successful on and off the field?
My last question is for Mark again. Just what are some of your overarching goals that you have for your first season with the Statesman?
Yeah, honestly, number one is simply compete, having consistent energy, making sure we understand that we've got to prepare and put the work in to be successful. I know kind of somewhat cliche answers, but before I even stepped foot on campus, I watched most of the live streams, and you could see, this is a talented football team. Is the roster as talented as maybe some others when I got here? Maybe not. But there's a lot of like low-hanging fruit and little things that we can fix and work on to be successful. And so right now, making sure our players buy in, I think we've had a great buy-in in the springtime, and just them wanting to simply compete and put the work in.
All right. Thanks, guys. That's all I had.
Thank you, Sam. We appreciate it. Coach Logan Harlan, we appreciate your time as well. Best of luck here in the 2023 season.
Sure.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.